Good morning, guys. A good, great morning to all of those who tune into the realest thing coming out of Guyana. So the carnage continues in this country, the violence between each other, the violence met out to men and women, and men meeting out to women, people in general meeting out to each other. I got a story here of a kid who was violently assaulted in school. And as usual, I got a little different take on these kind of things. Lacho, good morning to you. Kamla, good morning. Manishwar, good morning to you. Chris, good morning. Bibi, Seema, Tabu, a good, great morning to you. So, in the village of Alnis, 2 people are said to have been killed, one of them lose their head. So it's in a triangular, it seems it was a triangular love affair. Right? I don't know in what context the triangular love affair meant, if it's 2 girls and 1 boy, if it's 2 boys and 1 girl, if it's 3 boys, 3 girls, I don't know. In this day and age, when you're thinking the news, you gotta make sure you get all the information, because that comes under love affair too. It could be 3 auntie man, it could be 3 lesbian, you understand? It could be 2 men and a woman. I don't know which triangle it is. If it's a right angle triangle, you understand? No, here, this is a serious thing. People have died. But you imagine I read the news and I'm thinking, me get the information yet is who? And I study if it's a right angle triangle. They got left angle triangle? They got right angle triangle though. So I want to know if it's a right angle triangle. I can't remember. I wasn't so good in maths and the trigonometry, right? Trigonometry. Yeah, I wasn't so good. It's in me latter days I become better with maths. Yeah. AP, Lester, AP, and you walk out from where? Where they walk out from Parliament, in the realm of Parliament, they didn't really exist. When they walk, the PP just got them running out. So they didn't necessarily exist. I don't know how. I don't know necessarily how they Yeah, Justin.
Hi, morning. What's that, you guys? Fuel. I can't half told fuel at the back of diamond because boys say you gotta get fuel for all the
You remember the contaminated fuel that we had in the thing, right?
Yeah.
That they're way away from the fuel. Thanks them.
It in there way away. The guy put it next day, but it mark. I tell you for mark it up. It mark.
Roger that. So, all right. You're carrying fuel with the high-up truck?
It got red clot in it. Yeah.
Roger that.
Christian start old y'all as yet, the old canter with the steel tray.
All right, massive. And he can do that a little later today because he gotta go and check the bulldozer again. Some light coming in.
All right. Good,
cool.
No problem.
Safe. Everybody start moving and start ready?
Yeah, we try for kick off early.
Roger that. Cool. Yeah. So telling y'all, I don't know what kind of a triangle love affair it is. It might be a right angle triangle. Right? You never know. In this day and age, you could get news like that. But I know somebody is missing a head. Whatever happened in this gruesome thing, somebody's lost a head. Right? Sad situation. And it continues in that direction. Look at this. This is the violence in schools. This is a young man was stabbed to his hand. I don't know where he was stabbed with. This is just a little dunstug. So this young man was stabbed to his hand, but this is what really dawned upon me, right? Let me get the. So I'm looking at this young man, and I'm looking at the hairstyle he has. I'm looking at the dress wear he has. I was told he's a student. I don't know if that day he was going to school. I don't know. This consists of part of his uniform, a jeans. He brief way out. Obviously, these kids are not brought up in the right way to understand what it means to be a student. You understand? These people are more adults to me. So leave the one where you gotta show you. So this is the style. I don't know what is his uniform, but this is the injuries he received. Now this shouldn't happen to anybody's. This shouldn't happen to anybody's child, but everybody come in and cry wolf. You understand? But I don't know what you expected when you child dressed like a little tuggy going to school. I don't know who you expect to come back. You understand? Thug life is real. And I don't know if you remember the old saying from the old people, but if you live by the sword, you surely will die by the sword. So I don't know what kind of life people live in. You understand? Like I don't walk about like I was a cowboy and looking for no problem. Right? If this was there in your mind, these are the things that are going to continually be happening. So I'm hoping people are looking at this. This is unfortunate. Shouldn't happen to any child. But this is the reality of the world when you go in and you act in a certain way and doing certain kind of things, right? Thankfully, he didn't lose his life. On the progressive side of things, this is what's been happening on the West Coast, West Demerara. This is how the road there has been progressing, right? So very soon you guys are going to be having the similar highways like the Heroes Highway. You're going to be having similar highways to that on the West Coast. This here is a road that is leading, done by Guy American, is leading to Freedom Hoop. This road going to cut out. Coming from the Harbor Bridge, leading all the way to Freedom. This is going to cut out all of the going through Freedom Hoop and all the traffic congestion and all them things. Progress is going to be happening at a very fast rate. And I am saying in my head, the progress and the failures. The progress and the failures continue to be highlighted. Funny enough, a lot of the failures is false failures, we call it, because it comes from the opposition trying to bring down how the progress look. Not actually finding failures that when we look after it, we could be more progressive. The opposition tries to make everything look like a failure. Right? This is the scene over the river, and these roads you could expect to be well lit and everything else and coming to you soon. Right? I want to talk about something that's going to be happening on Monday. I want to dissect this and you look at it. So this here is Coretta McDonald, a woman I know, and from time to time we talk. And so the last time I met her somewhere, we were at a function, and I said, we're going, it's a company program, let's talk and thing. And she has a sense of anger in her, right? And this could also be indicative, an attitude indicative of strong women. So she is a strong woman. To be a union leader, you got to be a strong individual. And she's the head of the Guyana Teachers Union. Not the head, the deputy or second therein of the Guyana Teachers Union. But the teachers who are supposed to educate our children, Monday are set to go and strike following this woman. Listen to her style on one of her programs and what she would listen to and what she would facilitate. The kind of individual that she is. I would want to say, to give her the benefit of the doubt, maybe there was a lapse. But let's look at it and everybody see it from their perspective.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yes. You see, black people have history, but the Indians don't have. You know this?
All right.
The Indians don't have any history in Guyana. And wherever there is, they always like to have the rulers and do a lot of wicked things. Look in India. Women are being raped, and they doesn't care about that. So our history is stopped.
It's frightening, eh? It's frightening to some of them.
Yes, it is. We gotta come out and stand up.
Now, Coretta McDonald, who plays an integral role in the Teachers Union, and I don't know if she was a teacher in the past, but should know history, should know that, as a matter of fact, other than the genetics and the difference in landscape, there's no difference, not that much difference when it comes to the bottom line of any area where human beings are, especially the Asian continent and the African continent. So she listens to somebody who is propagating the kind of racist narrative that she has in her head. And she says, not like me, I shut you down right away. Like, yeah, there's somebody met, say, "Mao, your cost of the man, we call him, but PNC used to smuggle fuel." No, the PNC is many things. But I can't say I know of the fuel smuggling in daytime and if it's different from now to then. So I shut you down and I even tell you about your wife. If you need that, they should smuggle a neighbor in the house. People say, "Oh, you can tell you that," but it's the truth. You got shut down shit. The PNC and political parties like the PNC would never have my support again. I learn from my mistakes. But I can't hear somebody talking a blatant lie about the PNC on my program and I not say, "Man, no, that's not true." Now, is Coretta McDonald unaware of the environments of Africa and Asia, India, the circumstances under which India were and is? Because this is not the continent, this is a direct attack on people. And I can't understand, if you're not a racist, how this, like, somebody, I talk about black people, I talk about Indian people, but when somebody talk something, but anybody, and it ain't truth, I said, no, what madness you talking? You understand? So, one guy listened to, "Hello, good morning."
Good morning, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yeah, brother.
Isn't it the same Miss Coretta McDonald who was trying to get a membership or trying to join the PPP? Anything about that?
I don't know of it, but I have known when she used to complain to, would go to the vice president office when he was opposition leader and complain about the actions of the PNC. I know about that. I don't know about her trying to join the PPP.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Hey, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Only recently I was in a conversation where the vice president, I think it was his press conference, he said it. I can't remember, but he did say, I could remember him saying, I don't know if it's in a private conversation between us or it was his press conference, but he did say She would come over and complain about the PNC's attitude. But again, what happens? Power is a thing that we all yearn for. Kids cry and behave and throw tantrums because they want power. They want to be able to control their lives. And we all try for that. Women act in a certain manner because they want to be able to control their lives. They want to be able to control their man. They want to be able to control their children. So we all yearn at different levels for some extent of power in our life. You feel helpless. Human beings feel helpless when they don't have power, right? So obviously, Coretta McDonald wants to be in a position of authority. She is in a position of authority, sitting where she sits at the GTU. How do we acquire that power? Some people are not smart. It's obvious that a wide cross-section of people in the opposition and associated with the PNC use methodologies that are outright, not used anymore or scoffed upon in modern day society, but nonetheless they use it because they got a wide cross-section of society that is also ignorant that they attract. Listen to this again. No. You play a role in being the head of the teachers union. And you listen to this and have no objections. This becomes normal. I would like to see the teachers that are going to be led by this woman Monday morning. After seeing this, is this an endorsement of teachers? Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Critic, on Charles, but you're right on.
Talk to me quickly.
I got a thing of why I elected in Cooper Street. This thing, them, the duty roads, them in Cooper Street, right?
Yeah.
Since November, them put on post and fill it and put on BRC, let's say left just off. Since November, you have vehicles sitting on the road, they can't come and make a rat for you. And there's everybody else to the street too. I will take 2 pictures now and send to you on WhatsApp.
Send it to me. Safe.
Good, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah. Right? So listen to this. Having a caller on her program and listen to the conversation. Nothing else but being racist. Because I try to understand what is the context. And a lot of times people do this to me, they take out a snippet, but what could have been said? All that could have been said has been said. I don't know if after, at the end of this video, because this is all I have. She clarified it or what, but listen to this part, the part that we have.
Good evening, caller. You're here with us.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yes. You see, black people have history, but the Indians don't have. You know this?
All right.
The Indians don't have any history in Guyana.
All right. What does that mean? What does that mean from the time of Indian arrival and Portuguese arrival, when the indentured laborers arrived? Let's put it in its context. History is a thing, a time, and an experience that have happened in the past, and a lot of time we will record it. So things happen, we record it, we consider it to be history. How do we use that? We use it as a memory, we use it as a guide, we use it in many different ways. But it happens. So how long have Indians arrived in Guyana? So a man calls and he says something that's not factual. And you say, Now again, Miss McDonald is not an ordinary citizen. She's a public figure and sits up at the head of the teachers union. So there's supposed to be a field of education. And says, when somebody says this.
Good evening, caller. You're here with us.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yes. You see, black people has history, but the Indians don't have. You know this?
All
The
right.
Indians don't have any history in Guyana. And wherever there is, they always like to have the rulers and do a lot of wicked things. Look in India. Women are being raped.
So are women not raped in Africa? Are women not raped in America? Are women not raped in China? And if there's not statistical evidence to suggest that the rate of rape is higher in India. By the way, India has the largest democracy. So if you had one rape per million by standards in the world, one rape per million per day by standards in the world, India would have 1,400 because they have 1,400 million. 1.4 billion is the Indian population. Yet you have this woman sitting down there, going to be leading the teachers on protests on Monday, and we gotta get lots of pictures of the protests on Monday. Lots of pictures. Let's get lots of pictures of the protests on Monday. And let's see who are the teachers. We might have a racist insurgents in our school. If the people who are teaching our students in the school share the same sentiments at Coretta McDonald, Guyana has a problem, a serious problem.
Good evening, caller. You're here with us.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yes. You see, black people has history, but the Indians don't have. You know this?
All
The
right.
Indians don't have any history in Guyana.
So you got a person listening to something, and you look at it and you think, she's thinking, yeah, I like what I'm hearing it, yeah. No, everybody got history. Once you're here, you got history. What is the extent of that history? You understand? Now, on her post, she got people perpetuating their ignorance, or broadcasting their ignorance on her program, and should be from an educator's background. You're supposed to say right away, no, that is not so. The Indians have less of a history as it relates to recorded time in Guyana. And as a result of the Africans being here before as slaves, they would have gone through a lot of hardships before the Indians would have come. But nonetheless, the Indians came, and it wasn't easy to in the cane fields. It wasn't a walk in the park to be an indentured laborer. Because if we look at it and suggest that one has to ask oneself, with all the time that the Africans have and the history that they have, what have they done with it? It's unfortunate. It is unfortunate, the situation that the opposition make out blacks to be in today, after the great history that they have. Who is to blame then? You can't want to own it, and then you want to accept your failures after owning it. So, hello, good morning.
Morning, Critic. That guy you would call, you're saying the right thing. You know, he is poking the fire with racism. Supposing somebody call it and say in 1964, when they burned down all the Indian business in Georgetown, that was born and planned. You know, how would that look?
Well, it's a matter
They put down
of fact, but we can't, at this time,
all these tours that
in this day and age, we don't fight fire with fire. That is just around the corner. I would want to think he was talking about the history thing. My problem is not what the gentleman said. He's obviously ignorant. My problem is a person who's supposed to be seen as an educator, this woman who plans to lead teachers to protest on Monday morning, you understand, who perpetuates racism. She would have to come and ask, says she's clueless to what is going on. She has to come and say she doesn't know what is going on. An obvious a race baiter and a hater. I want to know who are the teachers after seeing this are going with her Monday morning.
Yep.
All right, we talk.
I know what you're saying, right?
Listen to this. I hear me, sir. Simple, it's not complicated. The PNC come and protest in front of my house. You know what I said? I said, black people don't like to read. The context of the discussion was some children were sitting down. Rhonda Lamb, the presidential candidate for one of the third force political parties at the time, before the 2020 election, a photograph of her children sitting down looking at the documents that came from the recount, right, was taken and put up and big uproar again. And I said, the reason why we're in today is black people are listening to leaders like the PNC leaders, so they don't like to read for themselves. The PNC took it, smelly smell and all them came in front of my house and said, Simona Brooms said, I said black people can't read. Now, this is how they perpetuate ignorance. Right? This is how their ignorance is perpetuated. And they want to suggest they are the right people to lead this country. Now, UG, all the brilliant black inventors of the world, the University of Guyana, all the engineers, all the black teachers, they try to turn at election time to suggest I am a racist. After knowing, as a matter of fact, when it comes to the level of people who are educated in this country, there are more black people that are educated in this country than any other race. That is a matter of fact. Because black people and black culture and Christianity and everything else is naturally drawn to the educational system. The blacks are of the opinion the only way out, the ones them who think out, is through education. I grew up as a child, my mother tell me, education is the key to success, son. That's all she said, education is the key to success. I beg to differ, and I beat out. You understand? Nonetheless, I'm glad for people going to get educated. Black people, by far, are the most educated people, qualified people in this country. Application of education is a different story. Look at Aubrey Narton. Look at all the PNC people. Look at this lady, Coretta McDonald. I'm sure she has a degree. I dropped out from school, me got nothing. You understand? The application of the education you've acquired is a different story. Does having a degree or a PhD make you somebody? No. It is how you apply what you have learned. Make the changes in your life. Right? But for the PNC coming and say, I say, black people can't read. It is not even logical. It is not logical. Because it makes no sense. But being the racists that they are, They try to stoke the people's angers, the people's sentiments, play upon the people's feelings. They thought there would have been a big uproar in this country. Use the opportunity for break the critic. People saw through. Because bear in mind, as never as I said anything in the background, there's a video, a long 2 hours video explaining this and that. This
Good evening,
is
caller.
a
You're
racist
here with us.
conversation. And this is what a racist
Yeah,
looks
good
like.
evening.
Good evening to you.
Yes. You see, black people has history, but the Indians don't have. You know this?
All
The
right.
Indians don't have any history in Guyana. And wherever there is, they always like to have
Look at
the
her facial
rulers
expression.
and do a lot of wicked things. Look in India. Women are being raped, and they doesn't care about that.
Mm-hmm.
So our history,
In agreement. Now, it is unfortunate because I know many black teachers, and I've never met a black teacher that shares Coretta McDonald's sentiments. At least you can't share those level of sentiments in educating children in Guyana. It's unfortunate. So, that is something to think about. If there's one going to be the head people at the head of the protest, we have to ask ourselves if it is about actually the salaries of teachers. It is a care or worry about teachers, or there's a racist agenda afoot here. Think about what I'm saying, guys. Keep it real. Peace out.